is Corena Hammer, and yoga found me at a time when I was doing a lot of athletics. I was racing a lot of triathlons, and I started reaching inside myself for a different kind of insight, different kind of openness. I had started having some health issues, and I needed to start moving from my core and find strength within inside myself in a way that was connected to my own authenticity and to what I was honestly feeling. And yoga's healed me in so many ways. It's given me a sense of balance in my life. I had been white knuckling through so many things, and that kind of living, that kind of energy didn't work anymore. I needed to become a warrior, a meditative warrior, and I was able to do that. And it's become my dharma, my calling to teach yoga. And I hope you take this journey with me and begin your own practice. Namaste. Hi everybody, welcome to 20-Minute Tune-Up. This is the yoga practice for cyclists. I'm Corena Hammer. We're going to work on opening our heart, opening our shoulders back up, lengthening the back of the neck, which we tend to drop forward and our chin tends to be down. And also we're going to work on wrists, rolling through the wrists and opening them up, strengthening them as well as stretching them. So let's start with Ujjayi, breathing first. So take a comfortable seated position. Bring your hands to heart center. You're breathing in and out through your nose, and it's almost the sound of fogging a mirror as you inhale and exhale. Set an intention for this practice, and when you're ready, draw that intention down to your heart center. And let's begin. Interlace your fingers and press them forward, stretching the wrists. Inhale, draw back to the heart, and exhale overhead. Inhale to the heart, and exhale, press away. Breathing in, breathing out. So every time you come to the center of the body, inhale. Right here, you're stretching your wrist, but you're also pumping the lymph system so that the toxins can flow back out of the body again, so that we don't get stuck. And this time, take it overhead, and keeping the wrists open, just take your palms directly above your head and hold. So your arms are kind of making a diamond shape, and draw the elbows back, breathing in and out, and then release. Place your palms, fingertips up at the top of your hips, and draw the heads of the shoulders back. Inhale, crossing at the elbows, taking them overhead. Exhale, squeeze your elbows behind you, placing your fingertips upward on the hips. Inhale, crossing at the forearms. Exhale, drawing the elbows down. Hands on the hips, open the heart, open the chin, and breathe. Inhale, and exhale, hands on knees. Turn your chin to the left, and drop it slightly down towards that shoulder, breathing in and out. And drop the chin down, almost touching the shoulder, and then inhale to the center, and exhale, turn it to the right, and still breathing, dropping it down. Our neck tends to get tight. You can even do this particular exercise while you're cycling, as long as there's not any road debris, right, that you need to watch out for. This time, place your palms one behind the other and push that front palm into the back palm. You're not trying to pull the wrist in and stretch it. You're trying to push the wrist away from you. Keep the elbows as straight as possible. You're still breathing. Draw the hands in and trade which one's on the back and press back out. If your elbows don't straighten, don't worry about it. This takes time. It takes some wrist and forearm flexibility in the connective tissue. Still breathing. We want to work on strengthening our wrist in an open way rather than just continually stretching them, which can lead to injury. Go ahead and drop that down. And let's come to our hands and knees. Knees right underneath the hips. Palms right underneath the shoulders. And then take your left arm underneath and lay on your left ear and open that right elbow a lot. So you're stretching your whole side body, your whole right rib and hip. Now, if you can, take your right arm up to the sky, taking your arm as far away from your torso as you can. Maybe even bending your elbow, drawing it back more, and then reopen the arm, breathing in and out. Maybe even take that top palm facing open on that bottom rib, or even kind of connect to where the rib and the hip meet at the waistline. But keep opening the elbow. We're working on the shoulder right here. And then gently releasing that. Help yourself up, back to hands and knees. And then take your right arm underneath, palm facing open. One more time. Open up through the, put your ponytail out of the way if it's in the way. Open up through your left elbow and get that left rib and hip to really stretch open. You're creating space between that rib and hip, which tends to get really tight when we bike. Go ahead and reach your left arm up if that feels right to you. Maybe even bending the elbow and really engaging the shoulder blades, squeezing them towards each other, and then straightening the elbow again. Lengthening that arm as far away as humanly possible from your torso. Maybe palm facing open on that outer rib and hip, maybe even connecting back onto the thigh itself. But the important thing is opening the elbow and opening the shoulder, not in trying to connect your hand down to your thigh. That's not important at all. And then gently untangling from that, come to your hands and knees. Standing on your knees, just roll through the wrists so the back of the palms touch each other, and this is so healthy for your wrists. Good. Placing your palms together, elbows come overhead, and then again stretch back, elbows squeezing back behind you. Inhale, circle the arms in front of you, cross the forearms. Exhale, squeeze your elbows down and behind you. Palms are open. And one more time, inhale, in front of you, forearms cross. Exhale, stretch open through the chest, squeeze the elbows, and this time, if you can, interlace your fingers and take your knuckles at the base of your sacrum and press that tailbone downward. Don't let it lift up. And keep squeezing your elbows towards each other. You want your chin to be neutral rather than tipping the head way back. So as cyclists, we tend to put too much demand on our neck. If you want to lift the chin a little bit off the throat, that's okay, but you only want about a tangerine worth of space. If you can, open up through the palms, still squeezing your elbows, and take the back bend more in the upper back to stretch open as you inhale, and as you exhale, gently coming out of it, hands and knees. Walk one leg at a time back into downward facing dog. Make sure that you're spreading through the webs of your fingers and breathing in and out. Bend your elbows out wide and then hug them in towards each other. They almost touch your mat, but not quite. The elbows are still really bent. This is called power dog, and this will really strengthen your chest. And as a cyclist, that's something that you really need, is to strengthen your chest in a more open way rather than the shoulders rounding forward. And then go ahead and straighten your arms, coming into your typical or normal downward facing dog. And then again, bend the elbows out wide and then hug them in towards each other, still bent. And they're descending towards your mat, but they're still about 6 inches off your mat. And this is called power dog or turbo dog. And breathing in and out. Good. And then releasing that into your normal downward facing dog. As you exhale, draw your right knee to your right chest. Inhale, release. Exhale, squeezing it in. Inhale, release. This is working your core. Exhale, right knee right up into the chest, and then step the foot forward by your right hand, coming into a lunge. Descend through the back hip a few times in and out of this, just encouraging your psoas or your hip flexor to open up. Exhale as you bend that back knee, and then release the back knee all the way down. Your right hand is on the outer right thigh, and you're using that as a place to twist from. Don't get overly excited about turning your head. It just gently moves in the same direction as your shoulders. So wait for the shoulders to turn first, and then the chin follows, breathing in and out. And not a lot of weight on that bottom hand. Remember, as cyclists, we tend to be really demanding on our wrists, and so we want to stay nice and light on that. As you exhale, unravel, lift your back knee, and step back into downward facing dog. Inhale, draw the left knee up, and exhale, squeezing it into the chest. Inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, release, and exhale, squeeze, and then step the foot forward. Exhale a few times as you bend your back knee and encourage the knee to come towards the mat. Inhale as you lift out of it, and exhale all the way down into that runner's lunge. Good. Hug your left arm to the outer part of your left knee and use that as a place to twist from. And again, our twists start in our lower back, then our mid back, then through the upper back where the shoulder region is, and then the neck comes last. Breathing in and out. Again, not a lot of weight on that bottom hand. You're using your inner thighs here to hold the posture rather than using your arm strength to hold the posture. And as you exhale, unravel, placing your hands down and stepping back into downward facing dog. Allow the back of your neck to relax downward. And again, elbows out, still keeping them bent, squeeze in, power dog, breathing in and out, and then release the elbows all the way down to the mat for dolphin. Bend your knees if you need to, if you have tight hamstrings. That can help, or you can walk your feet a little bit further away in this particular posture, but the hip energy is upward, so that the hips are the highest point of this posture, not your lower back. You can even karate chop your arms if this is bothering your shoulder at all, and that sometimes gives some freedom for that shoulder girdle. And use your belly strength to hold the posture rather than sagging your body weight down. Gently begin to drop your knees down to the mat and come to hands and knees. Inhale, open your heart, open your chin a little. Exhale, round through your spine, squeeze your belly. Inhale, opening through the heart and the chin. Exhale, dropping the skull down, squeeze the belly, rounding, really hugging it in. Now cross one ankle over the other and just roll over your feet and turn towards me in a seated position on the mat. If sitting in this particular position bothers you at all, just pick one that's your favorite. It's no big deal. Draw your right arm out onto the mat and your left arm overhead and really stretch that left rib and hip away from each other. Now turn your chin to look underneath that left arm bone and now round through that side body. Breathing in and out. Drop back to a more neutral position and then place that left hand behind your head and just place your fingertips in your neck and give a little bit of a neck rub or a neck massage on that upper trapezius area. As cyclists, our neck hurts a lot. Now reach that left arm over. You're still keeping your right ear down on your right shoulder. Just reach through your left arm, stretching the space between the left shoulder and the left ear. Inhaling and exhaling. And then take that right hand and put it in your right temple and help your head up to the center. Necks are very delicate. You don't want to stretch them out a lot and then just move them around too quickly. Good. Take your left arm out, not too close to your hips. And as you inhale, reach your right arm straight up overhead at an angle with your torso. And then start opening that right rib and hip. You can look down at your bottom hand if your neck is bothering you. You can bend that bottom elbow and really round or arch into this posture, stretching that right rib and hip away from each other, breathing in and out. Straighten that bottom arm. Come into this nice side angle and then drop the hand down onto the back of your neck and just give yourself a nice little neck massage with your chin drop down. Keeping that left ear down on that left shoulder, just allowing that softness to happen. Take your right arm out and reach for the floor. You're not touching it, but keep reaching, stretching for it so that you feel the stretch between the right ear and the right shoulder. Not a lot of weight on that hand that's on the earth. Breathing in and out. And then again, you want to use your left hand into the left temple and gently help your head up towards the center. Very nice. Untangle through the thighs and then turn sideways, holding your hands on your shins. Just start to roll back one disc at a time until your torso is down on the mat and your knees are still bent. And don't jam your heels up close to your hips. Keep them a little further away. And all I want you to do is just shimmy your shoulder blades underneath your body and squeeze them towards each other a little bit so that you're opening your heart already. Again, cyclists need that openness through the chest because we tend to round forward and collapse into that area. And breathing in and out. You'll feel a bit of a back bend in your lower back, but I really want you to feel it in your upper back, mostly right here. And then one disc at a time, start to lift your spine up. And I don't want you to pop your hips all the way up yet. Just come about halfway up and sort of rock them back and forth for a minute. Just feels so good on your lower back. And then hold it nice and steady. And then one disc at a time, start to lift. And if you can, shimmy your shoulder blades a little bit closer to each other. And maybe a few more discs will lift. And keep peeling your heart up into your chin. So instead of working with the lower back and a lot of gumption in that area, you really want to be pressing your upper back muscles towards the shoulder blades squeezing towards each other, and then that presses your heart up into the chin. This is opening up our lung capacity, and it's also balancing some of those tight shoulders that we tend to get. Release your arms, roll down disc by disc, and then staying down, just press your hands into the tops of your thighs, right where the thighs and the hip crease meet, and just feel some length in your lower back, and it should feel really good. Breathing in and out. And then gently release. Draw your left knee in towards your left chest and keep that knee bent. And just place your left hand on the outside and kind of wrap it around the ball of your foot if at all possible. This is a half happy baby pose. And just drawing the knee downward first. I don't want your hips to roll up off your mat, so keep your hips down. And then you're going to interlace your fingers and go ahead and squeeze your hamstring. And as you exhale, start to straighten your thigh a bit. And as you inhale, bend at the knee. And then pick another spot on your hamstring, squeeze it. And as you exhale, straighten your thigh a bit. And then as you inhale, bend. And I just want you to encourage your hamstrings to open this way rather than forcing them. Especially the hamstring down in the lower part of the hamstring by the knee tends to be very tight on cyclists. And then you're going to bring both legs up to the sky at the same time. And you're going to notice one leg feels a lot longer than the other. And then placing that left thigh down, bending your right knee, draw it towards your right chest. Your right arm from the outside grabs the ball of the foot. Left hand from the inside. This is a half happy baby. Feels really good on your lower back, and it's kind of fun too for whatever reason, right? And just drawing it in, you can massage the space between the toes through that metatarsal region as well. And then again, start to draw the knee back, straighten it just a little bit. And then we will interlace our hands, place it on our hamstring, and my palms are really squeezing towards each other. And so I'm really encouraging the hamstring to stretch by the knee more than the high hamstring, because we need it down by the knee more than we do the high hamstring. So every time you exhale, you're squeezing and gently encouraging that knee as straight as possible. There's nothing about forcing the body that ends up being good for you. So just encouraging your body here. And then find a spot as you exhale the next time and just sort of hold for a breath or two. And then gently, as you exhale, bend the knee, releasing the hands, and then squeeze both knees in. Give yourself a big hug. And then just circle the knees off to the left side and lay them down on your mat, placing your left hand on top of the knees. And try and keep the knees stacked on top of each other, but if they don't stay stacked, that's fine. Breathing in and out. And then gently, let's bring that to the other side. So over to the right, place your right hand on top of the thighs, encouraging the thighs to stay down. You can even put your left hand on your lower back or buttocks and press it down and away from your back ribs. I know you're touching your butt, but you know what? If you're a cyclist, you're a little bit weird anyway, right? And then a gentle release out into Shavasana. So take your feet as wide as the corners of your mat and take your palms open, take your wrists open. And again, you can sort of shimmy your shoulder blades towards each other so your upper chest gets a little bit of openness to offset some of that tightness. And then you release your breath and relax down into the earth. The ankles are open. The thighs are open. The heart is open. The shoulders are open. And the wrists. Relax your throat and your face. Staying in this very relaxed space, feel the corners of your mouth soften. Feel the eyes drop deep into their sockets. And feel your forehead relax. And then gently bring your breath slowly back to your body and place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Just kind of grounding into some breath, feeling your heartbeat. And at a gut level, envision what you would really like to see for your athleticism while in this relaxed space. Athletes that use visualizations tend to perform better, and so when we're in a relaxed space, thinking of what we really want to draw into ourselves is a great idea. Gently, whenever you're ready, roll to one side and use your arm as a pillow. Tuck up into a little seed and breathe in and out. Feel your spine open with your breath. Feel the space in your body that was once tight open up. And if you can, with your eyes closed, begin to roll up into a seated position that feels right to you. Bring your hands to Anjali Mudra or prayer Namaste hands. Take a deep breath and draw your prayer down to your heart. keeping your mind calm and your breath calm. The light within my heart honors and greets and acknowledges that same light within yours, where you and I, burning brightly in this moment at the cellular level, literally become one. Namaste.